In the quiet, windswept plains of Holcomb, Kansas, the year 1959 promised a bountiful harvest and the simple, predictable rhythm of small-town life. At the heart of this community was the Clutter family. Herbert, a respected, successful farmer, his wife Bonnie, and their two youngest children, Nancy and Kenyon. They were the picture of American prosperity and virtue. A family so deeply rooted in their faith and community that the idea of tragedy touching them was unthinkable. Yet, on the morning of November 15th, that idyllic image was shattered forever. What happened inside their house that night would not only end four innocent lives but would also irrevocably change the landscape of true crime, inspiring a literary masterpiece and leaving a scar on the national psyche that remains to this day. Before we delve into the chilling details of that fateful night, take a moment to hit that like button, share this video with a fellow true crime enthusiast, and subscribe to the Calendar of Crime so you don't miss future episodes. Your support helps us bring these important, often forgotten, stories to light. Herbert Clutter was a man of meticulous routine and high moral standing. He ran his 1,000-acre farm with military precision, never drank, and was known for his generosity. His wife, Bonnie, suffered from chronic depression, often retreating to her room, but was deeply loved by her family. Nancy, 16, was the town darling, a straight-A student, a talented musician, and a leader in her school and church. Kenyon, 15, was a quiet, earnest boy, more interested in mechanics and his pet goat than social life. The Clutter home, a large two-story house set back from the road, was a symbol of their success and security. On Saturday, November 14, 1959, the family went about their normal routines, unaware that two ex-convicts, Perry Smith and Richard Hickok, were driving toward them with a vague, ill-conceived plan based on a rumor of a hidden safe. Smith and Hickok arrived at the Clutter home in the early hours of Sunday morning. They found the doors unlocked, a common practice in rural Kansas. Their search for the rumored safe was fruitless. Herbert Clutter kept his money in the bank and did not have a safe. What followed was a terrifying, drawn-out ordeal. The family was gathered, tied up, and moved to separate rooms. Herbert and Kenyon were taken to the basement, while Bonnie and Nancy remained upstairs. The killers spent hours interrogating the family, growing increasingly frustrated and desperate as they realized the robbery would yield almost nothing. They ultimately took less than $50, a portable radio, and a pair of binoculars. The decision to kill the witnesses, however, was made a cold-blooded act of self-preservation that defied the minimal gain. The crime was discovered the next morning, Sunday, November 15th, when Nancy's friend Susan Kidwell came to the house for a prearranged outing and found the doors locked. She and a neighbor, Mrs. Ewald, entered the house and found the horrific scene. The sheer brutality of the crime, 4 people bound and shot at close range, stunned the community and the nation. The Kansas Bureau of Investigation, KBI, was immediately called in, led by Agent Alvin Dewey. The investigation was hampered by the lack of a clear motive and the absence of a safe. The small, close-knit community of Holcomb was instantly gripped by fear and suspicion. Every stranger was a suspect, and the innocence of the town was lost forever. The investigation stalled for weeks until a crucial tip arrived. Floyd Wells, a former cellmate of Richard Hickok, came forward. Wells had worked for Herbert Clutter and had told Hickok about the family's supposed wealth and the non-existent safe. Wells's testimony provided the KBI with the names of the 2 suspects. Smith and Hickok, who had fled to Florida and then back across the country, were finally apprehended in Las Vegas, Nevada, on December 30, 1959, 6 weeks after the murders. The interrogation revealed the full horrifying sequence of events, confirming the senseless nature of the crime. The trial of Smith and Hickok began in March 1960. Both were found guilty and sentenced to death. They spent the next 5 years appealing their sentences before being executed by hanging on April 14, 1965. The case gained international notoriety through the work of author Truman Capote, who spent years researching the crime and interviewing the key players, including the killers themselves. His 1966 nonfiction novel In Cold Blood became a landmark work, blending journalism with literary narrative and raising profound questions about the nature of evil, the death penalty, and the American dream. The Clutter family farm, once a symbol of life, became a monument to a terrifying loss of innocence. The Clutter family murders remain a haunting reminder of how quickly darkness can descend upon the most peaceful of lives. The story of Herbert, Bonnie, Nancy, and Kenyon Clutter is one that deserves to be remembered, not just for the horror of their final moments, but for the beautiful, ordinary lives they lived. Thanks for watching. Please comment, share a like, and subscribe for future episodes from the Calendar of Crime.